Hey everybody, Math Day 93 with Grandma. Here's our poem riddle for the day. 5 alive. 5 will yield the right amount if by fives you always count, or else just multiply by 10 and half will get you there again. What if is 5 times 5? It's 10 fives divided in half. 5 times 10 is 100, divided by 2 is 50, or 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. What is 5 times 8? It's 10 eighths divided in half. 8 times 10 is 80, divided by 2 is 40. A couple ways to look at that. Cumference and the fraction Faire. Cindy Neuschwander, illustrated by Wayne Geehan. He's in a fish barrel. That's funny. Fine fabrics, fresh cheeses. It was the opening morning of the Fraction Fair. Such a merry atmosphere, said Lady Di of Amateur. She and Sir Cumference strolled jauntily through the crowds with their friend Reginald Parton, the Earl of Fraction. The two men stopped to watch a sword swallower, while Lady Di wandered over to a cloth merchant's booth. She ran her hands over a length of fabric. How perfectly soft, she exclaimed. The merchant smiled. You can buy all our parts, she said, pointing to the sign above her. One-fourth, two-fourths, three-fourths, four-fourths. What do those numbers mean? Lady Di asked. They're fraction numbers, my lady, the woman answered. They're used to measure equal pieces of something, such as this beautiful cloth. Why is one number below the other? Added Lady Di. The bottom number is called the denominator. This all explained. It shows how many parts in a whole. She drew lines on the material with a soap sliver, dividing the fabric into equal sections. So as Grandma does at the store all the time. We say the whole thing is a yard of fabric, or 36 inches. And then I can buy portions of it, usually in fourths, or 9 inches at a time. Because 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I buy 9 inches, or 18 inches, or 28 inches, or 36 inches. 4 in all, asked Lady Di. Yes, my lady, that's what the bottom number means, she said, pointing again to the sign. And if I want just one part of the 4, asked Lady Di, the numerator on top tells me how many parts of the cloth you want. In this case, it would be 1, said the woman. She printed the fraction 1/4 on the first section of cloth. That's 1/4, replied the merchant, and 2 parts of the 4th would be 2/4. 3 parts are 3/4, and the entire length is 4/4, or 1 whole section. Lady Di smiled. I'm partial to red fabric. Have you any? The merchant nodded and bent down. Odd. My red material seems to be missing. I'm so sorry, my lady. She excused herself and hurried away to check with neighboring cloth seller. At this point, Sir Cumference and the Earl approached, each hungry enough to eat half a horse. Soft curd here, bellowed a portly cheesemonger. Wheels of cheese, parts are whole. I'll take half of the Wensleydale wheels, said the Earl. I'd like 2/4 of the Cheshire wheels, said Lady Di. She thought of her lesson on numerators. 2 pieces means she could save 1 for later. I'm so hungry, I'll have this much of the Stilton, said Sir Cumference, pointing to the 4/8 on the sign. He thought the bigger numbers meant more cheese, but when the portions were cut, they were the same amount. A half and 2/4 are the same. 4/8 is the same as 1/2. Smaller pieces, but still half the cheese. They're equivalent, explained the cheesemonger. The Stilton is cut into smaller pieces, so there are more of them. Here, I'll cut the cheddar wheel and you'll see. Wait a tick, where is it? Missing cheese. Lady Di remembered the missing red cloth. Was this just a coincidence? By now, almost everyone at the fair was missing something. People surrounded the Earl, all talking at once. The Earl's head sheep shearer pushed forward. My lord, he exclaimed, 1/3 of your finest sheep are missing. We have a dozen to clip, but 4 are gone. Thieves, cried the Earl. They desire easy gain. Let's think like a thief so we can catch the culprit. The plan was quickly hatched. It's a long shot, but it might work. Puppeteer will set the trap, and fraction numbers will do 9/10 of the work. At high noon, the performance began. It featured Fraction's 2 favorite puppets, the diminutive half-pint and the sizable pottle. Oh, pottle, a huge gold coin. Let's fly up there and grab it. Such a half-baked idea, to no surprise, coming from a half-wit like you. The audience roared with laughter. Perhaps a kind member of our audience could get the coin for us. On the whole, not a half-bad idea, unless he or she is partly tempted to keep it. Got that right, Barnaby snickered, poking one of his mates in the ribs. The brigand band had returned to enjoy the performance. I've got a half-bad idea. Let's give the coin to the person who finds the largest fraction number. Slips like this are half hidden all about the fair. Bring your findings here by 2:30. Our 1/6 cents tells us we'll have a winner. The audience sprang into action. A gold sovereign was enough money to buy a small farm. So, based on what you learned from Cumference wanting 4/8 and Lady Di wanting 1/2, and are the Earl wanting 1/2 and Lady Di wanting 2/4, what is the number you want to see that's the... Do you want a small number or a big number on the bottom? And a small number or a big number on the top? What will the biggest fraction be? The thief will want that coin, the Earl said to Cumference and Lady Di. We have no stealing before the fair began, so we think the thief is an outsider to fraction. And you wager an outsider would think a number like the 1/16 is bigger than someone like 1/3 because the denominator is larger, said Lady Di. I made that mistake myself, admitted Cumference. Now I realize that the larger the denomination, the smaller each part is. The higher the numerator, the more parts there are. People were having fun searching. Fraction numbers were discovered in unusual places. A girl noticed the 7/9 between 2 slices of bread. That could be a winning number, she said excitedly. Barnaby and his band kept their eyes peeled for fraction numbers. They observed a woman unwrapping a 1/2 from a wool wax jar, but they dismissed it. Too small, Barnaby thought. A young boy and his father spotted a 1/32 slip. Such a tiny fraction number, moaned the boy. Leave it, son, his father said. No one would be stupid enough to want that. They left it on the lunch table where Barnaby took it. Ho, ho, lads, he chuckled. We're in luck now. We've got a big number. This must be the winning ticket. The tower bell rang at 2:30. Would everyone with a slip step forward, the Earl asked, and please line up by number size. I'm here in the middle, said the woman with 1/2. Mine's a bit larger than 1/2, said the boy with 5/8. This one's larger still, I think, said the lunch girl with 7/9. The slip holders jostled about, but finally everyone was in order, with Barnaby proudly standing on one end with his 1/32, and sweet little Madeline Elizabeth whole part on the other with her 1/1. That's the whole thing. She has one of everything. 1/32 is very tiny. The gentleman with 1/32 kind of the puppet, as the holder of the smallest fraction number, you may award the gold coin to the winner who holds the one whole slip. No! Screeched Barnaby. My number is bigger. The coin's mine. He ran towards the gold sovereign. The Earl blocked him. Defeated, Barnaby and his brigand band turned and fled. They were too fast, the Earl said, returning to the puppet theater after a fruitless chase, but we found the stolen goods. Those half-dozen ruffians were in a whole heap of trouble, said Cumference. But they fell to pieces in the end, exclaimed the Earl happily. The village of Fraction and its Earl continued to be famous for sheep, the fair, and the unique way they wrote their numbers. Those numbers became known as fractions in Angleland. People used them when they wanted to represent parts of things. Today we call them fractions. Cumference and the Fraction Fair.